Hello, what's going on? So we're gonna do auto rifles this time, right? They're just the ones that are very simple, easy to use, and people gravitate to them because of their simplicity, I think. So we're gonna go over these next. Great total mag DPS. The amount of enemies you can kill with one magazine is pretty good for these guns. They're easy to use, which I went over before. It's just they're generally pretty stable. It's pretty much just point and click. And they're versatile. Depending on the frame, you can get a long range, you can get a short range variation, you can get burst damage variations. Uh, Auto rifles are quite versatile. Requires you to stay out of cover to deal damage. This is a negative to anything that just you hold down the trigger and go burr. It's just dangerous to stay um, out of cover, uh, because you can't really just dodge bullets in this game, and a lot of bullets aren't bullets in this game. They're bombs, they're just tiny explosions. So yeah, RPM can be dependent. The rounds per minute on these guns vary drastically and can change the feel of the gun accordingly. Um, Preferred perks in the third column. Subsistence. This got a specific buff for SMGs, auto rifles, and heavy machine guns. They actually get more ammo than other weapon types. So subsistence is really good on auto rifles. Triple tap a fourth times the charm, because you're just firing by holding down the trigger. As long as you can land crits, you can get a whole bunch more bullets, which means a lot more throughput. Throughput in this situation just means that you can push your DPS onto a single target for a long period of time. Um, Rerun rounds and reconstruction are both pretty good. Let's see how much of this I can do while my daughter's not super mad at me. So, yeah, I just talked about rerun rounds and reconstruction. Rerun rounds is just triple tap with easier steps because it doesn't require headshots, and reconstruction is good because more bullets in an auto rifle make your life easier. Stats for all requires you to hit 3 different targets. You have a lot of bullets in the magazines, very easy to hit 3 different things. Hitting 3 different things gives you a buff to pretty much everything but damage, which is useful. It also specifically increases your range fall off distance, which means that you'll be able to deal more damage from further away, which is also good. Overflow, for the same reasons that triple tap, fourth times the charm, reround rounds, and reconstruction are good. More bullets mean less reload, mean more damage. Feeding Frenzy lets you reload faster after getting kills. Man, same thing, okay? This is going to be a running trend. These are like the goated perks for most weapons, specifically primaries. Your elemental perks. You have a couple of elemental perks that go in the third column that are supportive perks. Heal clip. Whenever you get a kill and then you reload, you will cure yourself and nearby teammates. Cure helps just heal you for a chunk. This only is on solo weapons. Repulsor Brace, if you get a kill on something that is debuffed with a Void debuff, then you will give yourself a Void Overshield. Eddy Current, it's actually really bad to be honest, but the only reason I put it here is because they have to buff it. It's so bad they have to buff it. But it's the arc supportive perk that goes in the third column and basically gives you reload speed if you run for a short period of time, and you can run for a shorter period of time and you get more reload speed if you're amplified. So yeah, but they gotta buff that. I don't know what they gotta do, but they need to buff it. Demolitionist and Pugilist. Demolitionist will give you grenade energy per kill. I prefer it in the third column because in the fourth column you're losing damage to get this utility. Not worth it in my opinion. Also, if you throw a grenade, it will reload your magazine automatically, which is nice. Pugilist is the melee version of Demolitionist. The difference is it does not reload your magazine. So if you have a melee build of some sort and you want your melee uptime to be higher, Pugilist is the answer. Dealing damage with a melee will increase your handling, although that is not as good as increasing your or refilling your magazine. So I think they need to buff the second part of Pugilist. Alright, so Frenzy. Frenzy does everything for you. Damage buff, reload speed, handling. It's very good. What's wrong, Mama? You okay? Alright. One for all goes very well with stats for all. If you didn't notice, some weapons perks have specific pairings on purpose. But one for all, you hit 3 people, you get 35% damage buff. Really good. Elemental perks, destabilizing rounds. This is the void variation. You get a kill that will explode. Everything that's hit by the explosion will become volatile. Volt shot, you get a kill reload. Now the next thing you shoot will be jolted. Incandescent, once you get a kill, it explodes and it scorches things around the target that was killed. Golden Tricorn is like you get a kill and then you get 15% damage bump for 15 seconds. That can be refreshed per kill. If at any point while you have Golden Tricorn times 1, which is just with a gun kill, and you get a ability kill, that damage bump will jump from 15% to 50% for 10 seconds and is refreshed if you get another ability kill. Sounds really complicated, but really you're just looking at a 15% damage bump pretty much perpetually, and then when you really need it, you get a ability kill, and then you're off to the races for 10 seconds of a bunch of extra damage. Rampage, Swashbuckler, Adrenaline Junkie, these are all basically the same perk with different steps. Rampage, you get a kill, and it stacks up to 3 times. You get uh, 10, 15, and then 20 damage increase, I believe. And all you got to do is get killed. Swashbuckler and Adrenaline Junkie stack up the same way, but instead of 3 stacks, they have 5, and they get all the way to 33%. But they can skip the stacking if for Swashbuckler you get a melee kill, and for Adrenaline Junkie if you get a grenade kill. They also give like Adrenaline Junkie also gives handling, I think, but those normally don't matter anywhere near as much. If you can hear the dinging in the background, I'm sorry, but whatever, I'm not redoing this shit. Any damage perk, okay? You're looking for extra damage. These guns already have good damage, so you want to double down on that shit, alright? Any other damage perk would be ideal here in this fourth column. Alright, there are 4 frames of auto rifle. There is the adaptive frames. These have solid overall stats, mid-range around 30 meters at 50 range on the range bar, lower DPS compared to the other auto rifle options, and it doesn't really excel anywhere. This is not the frame that I would bring unless I have a god roll. Just point blank period. I'm not bringing this anywhere unless I have a god roll. Just because all the other ones have a niche that they fit. So the only reason I would bring this is if the roll is just really good, in which case it can just be okay everywhere, and then have a good roll. Rapid fire 720 RPM auto rifles. They have a great single mag DPS, very good single mag DPS. The same range as adaptive frames, and they have a lower handling stats. If you notice, this one only has one negative. It's because these are the best. These are the meta auto rifle types. If you want a good auto rifle type, you want the rapid fire auto rifles. Um, it's basically a SMG with much better handling and target acquisition, and way more range. Very, very good. If you want a good primary auto rifle, you're looking for a 720 of some type. Alright, precision. These have great recoil control, allowing you to hit a bunch of headshots at longer ranges. Exact same range stat as all the previous weapon types. Slower time to kill than other auto rifles at similar ranges, and needs the right perks to feel like you can actually kill something. The reason why I said those as negatives, which kind of seem like the same thing now that I say it out loud, is because yes, it's easy to hit headshots, but they designed it that way, which means you need the headshots to actually get kills. So if you're not hitting headshots, you get a big damage decrease, which makes it harder for your time to kill. And if you notice, it has a much lower RPM than the other weapon types. So this does feel really good because you're landing a lot of yellow numbers, but if you're not killing things, then it doesn't matter how good it feels, in my opinion. Need the right perks to make this work. High impact frames, 360 RPM. These have the highest starting range. Nothing is lower than 73 on the range bar that I could find. This does equate to about 33 meters at base for any high impact auto rifle, which is really fucking good. It just means that you never have to worry about adding range if you don't want to. And then if you do add even a little bit of range, you're starting to push out to almost 40 meters. So very good. Uh, Lots of damage per bullet. Uh, yeah, self-explanatory. Slower TTK, need to stay at range to feel effective without being in danger, and harder to control rough in the stat department other than range. Range is that's where they took all the other extra stats from all the other places and jammed it into range. So you're gonna have to find a way to deal with all those other bad stats. It has poor recoil control, poor stability, poor handling, poor reload. You got to find ways to deal with those. That's where most of the perks are going to come in to help you with that. It also has a slower TTK, but that's mainly because of its slower RPM. You shoot slower, therefore you don't kill as quickly. Um, and you have to play far away to feel like you're not in danger because if something's close to you, yeah, you can just hold down the trigger, but it takes so long to get kills that if you're not further away from them, then you feel like you're gonna die before, you actually finish them off. And that's auto rifles. I really am enjoying this. I'm actually gonna try and do another one if I can, if my daughter lets me. Ain't that right, BB? Hmm. You gonna let Daddy do another video? But yeah, I'm gonna try and do another one if I can. These are easy. I think these are very helpful. And pretty simplistic. It doesn't take very long to do. So yeah, I'm just gonna make y'all guess which one I'm gonna have to do next. Later.